Yeah. Well, we can't think of, I'm so sick of thinking of space as like that or this. It's like we should just be doing all of it. You know what I mean? Like we should just be.
But the article I was reading that I was talking about earlier with the water bears had to do with the astro like biologist and how we're already, because there's been a lot of theories of why we haven't found life on Mars. And one of the theories is we might have killed it in the 70s, honestly, if there was anything, because we drop in and we're not cleaning our shit. Yeah. During the Voyager missions. When it dropped probes into its atmosphere. But
could that have killed an entire life? Like contaminated possibly, but killed everything just because we did one little fart on a huge planet?
I mean, who knows? If that's a toxic fart and it passes from one beep boop to the next bop boop.
I mean, is there anything that could pop down here?
Pandemic, bro.
Yeah, but I feel like we would have seen at least some like something about things dying. Probably. Yeah, some evidence that something was there. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Although I know, so what they're looking for, and I know that people have said this about Mars, what they're looking for in Titan is an Earth that possibly could have been like an Earth, like could have been our Earth millions of years ago. Basically, they're thinking like Titan could have been like our Earth. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's so it also has CO2. So, you know what I mean? Essentially, you know what I mean? Oxygen. And there's no detection of ammonia, which I guess is a big, I mean, obviously, it's going to be hard to cultivate life as we know it on Earth, at least, in a ammonia-rich atmosphere.
Yeah. Man, it's crazy because that, like, so on one hand, you have ones where it's like, if something lives on Titan, either it's similar to us and it lives really far, similar to us biologically, as in it needs like similar stuff as us, and it lives like deep down in the water, right? Like it doesn't come up to surface. Or there could be life forms that can exist in like a methane based thing, environment. No, totally, you know what I mean? Which isn't that crazy if you think about the fact that there are tube worms and there are different kinds of shit that live under in the deep
here
ocean.
On Earth. Yeah, we're finding under like the volcano like off gassings.
Yeah,
there's actually
and they live in that shit.
Ecosystems of life forms that don't meet our conventional forms, and that's here on Earth.
Did you read about that?
Out in space.
Did you read about that fucking eel? What are they called? It's like it's not an eel, it's not a ray or a shark. I think it's called like a skate or something like that. It's like in between, or it's like a ray shark type family type fish. No. And they have only ever found eggs of this fish thing in like near the Galapagos Islands. I think they found like a dozen of these eggs, right? Of this one specific rare shark-like thing that lives really deep down, lives super deep down. They found a underwater volcano really far down, like, and it's like super active, and they found like 1 million of these fucking eggs on it. And the eggs are like 1.5 to 2 feet wide, like huge fucking shark eggs, basically hundreds of thousands of them on this fucking underwater volcano, this active underwater. Like, what a crazy, that is so fucking great. It's just crazy that shit has existed on Earth. And we had no fucking idea that was even a thing. Yeah.
I have one question for you.
Yeah. And
for anybody who's in chat who's not getting cut off for cursing us out, for I'm assuming Blippy / Sleazy Grossman. Are you or anybody what side are you on? Are you on side egg or team sponge?
I'm on team egg.
So here's the egg or the sponge.
Yeah.
It is a weird gold dome-shaped object, which was found by NOAA, which is like the National Oceanic Agency of America. I have no idea what actually NOAA stands for. It's something. It's something. But it's a national oceanic association and stuff. But in expedition,
I'm only laughing because I'm the same way. It's like I know what I'm trying to talk about, but I can't find any of the words.
No, I don't. Yeah, I have no idea what actually stands for.
We need to go to fucking Joe Rogan school. You know how he knows all the fucking words of every how does he know all the things?
Fucking writers. You gotta have fucking writers.
I think he's but I think he's just like some people just hold. This is not going to become a Joe Rogan jack off party. Okay. I'm not saying he's a fucking perfect, but he does manage to hold a lot of information in his head.
Here's my,
at a time.
I'm not going to give him that credit. I'm going to say that he probably reads the whole thing and
he actually reads the article
a bunch of weed before. And,
I think he actually does.
Do a bunch of edibles while trying to do research or whatever, I don't know his process, but I'm just gonna say that maybe mine and his process differ.
He's definitely not juggling two babies while he's trying to learn about this shit. I'll tell you that for free.
That's legit right there. But anyway, so they found this weird golden something
thing.
They
don't know what it is.
No idea. No.
They pulled it up though, right? They did pull it up. And they're sending it to the Smithsonian.
Yeah. They still have no idea what it is.
I know. That's why I don't think it's a sponge, because we made up what a sponge is.
Here's it in the laboratory right here.
Some of these ads are so funny.
Yeah, right.
We made up what a sponge is, right? So we defined that it has a certain structure.
And
so I feel like it would be pretty
clear,
easy to be that's a sponge. You know what I mean? That's what we call a sponge, or that's not what we call a sponge. What do you, Devin? I want to know what you think it is, because I'm sure you've got some ideas that the Smithsonian hasn't even.
I don't really know. It looks like just a pile of junk. If I seen that, I'd just be like, yeah, that's gross. I don't want to touch it. If I seen that on the beach, I think it's egg, honestly.
Yeah.
Or it's like the shell of an egg from something. Loch Ness Monster. I don't fucking know, but it's something.
The interesting thing about it is the color, I think, that grabbed everyone's attention, because it's from such a deep part of the ocean where light doesn't reach. So there's no real reason for it to be that color. Although gold colored things do occur in the ocean. There are corals that emit sort of a gold hue when they're hit with certain kinds of lights. And I guess that they thought that at first that this was just gold because the submarine lights were hitting it in a certain way. And they didn't realize it was gold colored until they saw it and were like, oh my God, that's what makes it weird. You know what I mean?
It's going to be interesting to see what it looks like under different spectrums of light. Honestly, I think that might be available to the life forms at that depth.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Because we're seeing it with our eyes. What is the local inhabitants of that area seeing with their eyes? And I think that's something to think about when we're looking for extraterrestrial life as well.
Well, just trying to keep the mindset of not thinking of everything. I mean, talk about the if we want to get to the main course that we always talk about, is the whole UFOs and the whole just disclosure in general. What's going on in general with the UAPs, the rebranding of the whole. The thing that makes me think that there's a lot to this UAP extraterrestrial thing is the whole rebranding that UFOs has gone through. Right now, they're not UFOs anymore. They're UAPs. They're not extraterrestrials anymore. They're, what are they called?
Non-terrestrial entities.
Non-human entities. NHI, non-human intelligence. So they've brought in that. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they're Martians. Well, they used to call them fucking Martians, remember? And then they turned into aliens.
Or even aliens. That's the thing. They could be terrestrial. Or terrestrial, or whatever below the earth is. You know what I mean?
To me, the whole rebranding comes off as an attempt to sort of kookify it, make it so it's not just, so it sounds legit, because you can't have a bunch of aliens being or alien scientists being aliens, UFOs.
No one's, they're just like, this guy's a fucking crackpot, dude. That's, you know what I mean? Which is what they've done with pretty much still, even with the rebranding.
Dude, I've been watching, and I should have sent you some. I've been watching like footage of people. So you know, Maury. Remember Maury?
Yeah,
Is the baby? Is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's Maury. He used to. I feel like it's Maury. It might have been another talk show guy, but I think it's Maury. He used to host. Those talk shows, those daytime talk shows, used to have people come on and tell their UFO stories.
Yeah.
All the time. That was like, it would be like, is the baby mine or his? It would be like, here's a UFO guy. Here's a fucking, it was just all these
like
people.
A crossover where it's like, my baby is an alien. Yeah, I remember that.
So I've been watching some of those and it's kind of weird. I mean, some of those people, I don't think all those people are crazy attention seeker. Like you get called a fucking loony when you come out with the shit. There's nothing like, you know what I mean?
You're not gaining.
I don't know
from this. You're not.
They're not gaining anything from it. That's what I'm trying to say.
I guess notoriety, but notoriety as a crazy person, and I guess you could argue. I guess you could argue that there's no such thing as bad press, but if you're the average person, it seems crazy to want to come off as crazy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And they say that like a lot of the military guys, Navy guys and Air Force guys that have seen a lot of this stuff, would never say anything because you just get totally made fun of if you bring the shit up. If you've seen something in the air and stuff like that, it's like a known thing that like you just don't say anything. Yeah. So I really think they're trying to.
Now you theoretically can report it without having like the stigmas attached to you. But I mean, who knows if that's actually.
I think part of getting rid of the stigma is renaming it, right? Because instead of homie coming down and be like, I saw a UFO.
I seen a UAP. I don't know what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
So, but it means the same thing. Unidentified flying object literally means the same thing as unidentified aerial phenomena. Like they're both like the same. I mean, I guess one doesn't have to be flying, I guess technically, but they mean the fucking same thing. Something you saw in the air and you don't know what it is.
This podcast is powered by LI Technology. When you're looking to give your business a crippling disadvantage that traditional AI companies just won't offer, think limited intelligence. Intelligence that offers comfort in an unforeseeable future.